What is going on, guys? Welcome back to an episode of the worst team for red and blue. The last time I believe we beat Silphco and we took on blue here right in the Lavender Town tower. Isn't that music just creepy? Doesn't that music like... It's just so weird, dude. Like, you think that Pokemon is like a kid's game, but it's like you walk in here and this place is just like look at that, gravestones. Pokemon are dead in here. Can we take a second to just realize that this isn't a Pokemon game? Pokemon is dark, guys. This is a Nintendo game that is meant for kids. God. Parents have like... I mean, maybe parents did back in the 90s? Maybe those parents that were like, you know, like so against their kids playing Pokemon back in the 90s. Maybe they were on to something because, I mean, come on. Pokemon that were, that are dead in a children's game. They're actually NPCs that'll actually talk about it inside the tower. Like, oh, I came here for my lost Growlithe. Like, it's crazy to think about. Oh, one more thing before we start, by the way. I'll be honest. Like, I'll be like 100% transparent. I felt dumb after getting rid of my Hypnos Confusion. So what I did was I went into PK Hex and I genned Confusion back on. I did not feel like going back to the Pokemon Center so many times just because the Psychic PowerPoints ran out. So I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'll be transparent with them. I highly doubt you guys care anyway. Anyway. Yeah. This lady's like, my Growlithe. Why'd you die? Yeah. Do you guys see this dialogue? This is insane. Jeez, man. It's so dark. And they're in like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Pokemon Origins, but it's implied that Team Rocket like did some bad stuff to Pokemon. It's fucked up. And I'm just saying again, this is a kid's game. This is like, yeah. Sorry, it kind of just blows my mind, you know, just, I don't know, like, when you're older, you see things a lot differently versus when you're, like, a kid. Like, you know, when I was a kid, I didn't even, like, bat an eye to this. Like, it literally just went over my head, like, oh, it's a spooky tower. It's, like, Halloween. Spooky Halloween, like some Nightmare Before Christmas crap. Which is actually a very, very scary movie. Very dark for a Disney movie, I will admit that. It's actually my sister's favorite movie of all time, and I watched it for the first time on Friday, last Friday, which is I think the 28th of September. And I watched it, and I'm going like, damn. Disney has some pretty scary stuff, and then like I realized like today I'm like, oh shit, like I'm here in I'm in the Lavender Town tower, like if for a kid's game, like we're in a pretty scary place. And you know, I feel like stuff like back in the older days, like, you know, they threw more sneaky, I wouldn't even say like sneaky, but it's just like a lot of things, like when you're a kid, like they'll go over your head. And I gotta say that this was definitely one of the things that went over my head. Like I didn't start realizing this until maybe, like, I knew about it when I was like maybe like a teenager with like the Lavender Town syndrome and stuff like that. And I remember like I was like watching like Proto Mario and stuff like that. I remember I found him 2014 possibly. That was also when I was like a late teen and like early adult, so. But it's just wild, you know, that like the Lavender Town stuff existed, and I didn't really know about it until I turned until I was actually like, you know, into my later teenage years, like I was mentioning. And it's pretty crazy, just like, you know, how all this stuff like you think about, like, you know, will fly over your head. And I'm also getting really, really irritated because this confusion is not enough to one-hit KO this Ghastly. I'm also surprised Lick actually doesn't affect Hypno. Is it just because, like, I mean, like, I'm sorry, like, you know, for not knowing this, but I don't really play Generation 1 all that often. And, like, I will admit, you know, that, like, I do like, some Generation 1 videos, but it's just, like, you know, sometimes, like, I just forget. Like, I really, really just do. Because I don't play, like, Gen 1, like, all the freaking time. Let's see. Does Lick not affect Psychic types in Gen 1? Why are they fucking immune in Generation 1? They're immune to ghost types? It's like, it's such a small detail that, like, I mean, no, ghost types are just completely useless. And like, I also Googled it, right now. And on Reddit, some guy's basically like, can someone please explain to me why a guy in the anime recommended that Ash catch a ghost type to catch on Sabrina? There's so much, like, inconsistent stuff. It's like, was this just a bug that they did? I just, like, I can't even, like, believe it. But I mean, I still know why, like, Gengar was incredibly still good in Gen 1, and it's just because, like, if it's special and it's really, really, I mean, like, it still had, like, good offensive power. Like, it's still a great Pokemon regardless. Like, that's honestly crazy. It's like, sometimes, like, you just forget this stuff. And sometimes I also have help on, like, my Generation 1 scripts, so I just don't remember, like, every single thing. Like, I'll be transparent. Excuse me, oh my goodness. Like, I'll be transparent with you guys about that. Even in competitive stuff, too. Still no Umon. I mean, Gengar's really, really, its special's 130 and its speed's 110, but I guess back then when you're in a tier with less Pokemon, 110 speed, nowadays, like 110 to 115 speed's kind of like the average for the OU tier from what I know. Yeah, sometimes there will be scripts where I honestly just don't feel like doing it, so I'll have help. I mean, like, at the end of the day, I mean, YouTube is, you know, my full-time job, and, you know, sometimes there's content where I don't feel like doing it, but, you know, sometimes, like, you know, the bills got to be paid, and I'll help out with it, but, I mean, if I, you know, like, I do need help sometimes, and sometimes I just forget. People, you know, with me being in the position I am, you know, expect me to know everything, and it's like, I don't know everything. I forget. I'm a human being, damn it. Yeah, that's my little rant aside. I was thinking the other day. I don't really want to teleport. I could go and sell this, but like I'm already here. From now on, I'll be a little bit more like diligent when it comes to picking up these items. Elixir's actually really, really good. I wish you could actually see what items you pick up before you interact with it. You know, actually, screw it. I'm gonna go clean out my inventory, and I'll see you guys back in a few seconds. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, I just went and just tossed a bunch of crap out. I mean, I tossed like some escape ropes. I tossed like some Pokeballs. I will be buying Pokeballs again, obviously, for like for Goldeen and stuff like that, because we're gonna be getting Goldeen pretty fast. It's funny, I went downstairs in the tower, but I forgot to go heal. I sold items, but I couldn't stop off at the Pokemon Center. Anyway, I was actually going to go into a little bit of an idea that I wanted to do. And I might actually do a community post, because we actually have the ability to do community posts now. And I've been meaning to ask you guys on a community post on what you guys want to see me do next. I was thinking about doing the worst team for Heart Gold, you know, with a hardcore Nuzlocke twist. But I was also kind of thinking at the same time, you know, what if we did a monotype hardcore Nuzlocke? Like, since, like, I had this thought while I was streaming Red Dead last night, which, by the way, I'm streaming Red Dead Redemption right now. I should still be streaming it by the time this game comes out. I'm recording this on the 5th of October, and I just started my my Red Dead playthrough. I don't know when this is going to be going out. I think it might actually be going out 2 weeks from now. I don't know. I just wanted to record and just get even more ahead. But I was thinking about doing a mono ghost type run of like Scarlet and Violet, or perhaps maybe even an older Pokemon game, but with a little bit of a twist. I mean, I would actually add like a randomizer to it, so we're not just using like the same Pokemon that you can get inside of Platinum. And I mean, like, even if like I did, the thing is with Platinum is that you only really have limited options on ghost types. But however, if I were to do a randomizer, we have an entire like pool that we can use of ghost types. So I've been really craving some kind of like monotype run lately. And I have been craving a mono fire run of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but a few months ago I was in a Scarlet and Violet mood. Now I'm really not. I'm more actually into a Generation 4 kind of mood right now. Or I can even do like a Generation 6. Like maybe like an X and Y hardcore ghost type. Then again, I'm like, X and Y is too easy. X and Y is honestly way too easy. Like, we could do an X and Y run, but it's like with the, I mean, I don't think, no, you actually can't turn the experience share off either. Unless there's a mod in which you can actually do that. Like if I were to go into like, for example, like PK Hex, and I were to actually go and like mess with like the randomizer settings, not the randomizer settings, like the game settings, maybe I might actually be able to turn that off. I'm sure it's possible in some way to turn off the experience share in Generation 6. Or I can even do Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You'll find me, you'll never find me doing a Sword and Shield run, though. I don't know why, there's just something about those games I just do not like. If you like Sword and Shield, then like, I'm sorry for bad-mouthing your favorite Pokemon game. I really am. Everyone has their own favorite Pokemon game for their reasons. I mean, like, mine's Gen 2. Y'all can bash the out of Generation 2. I know Gen 2 has its flaws. I only like Gen 2 because of nostalgia. I can get why some people would like Pokemon Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield has some really solid Pokemon designs. The OST's dope. Leon as a champion is definitely pretty cool. There are some reasons why people would like Pokemon Sword and Shield. I get it. And there are some good things about it, like what I just said. Also, Sonya. Why is my computer, like, spazzing out? I hope this doesn't, like, affect my recording, or else I'm gonna be one ticked off evolution. Like, my monitor, like, my screensaver, like, in my background, it's of, it's a Shomaru from Inuyasha. It's, like, one of those ones on, like, Wallpaper Engine, and it just, it's like doing this thing of like where it's like refreshing, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I've never seen that happen before, like during like one of my recordings. So I hope it doesn't mess it up. But Pokemon Sword and Shield, I mean, there are things, you know, there are things I don't like about it, but I'm sure you know that there are plenty of things why people would like it. Performance-wise, I think every single one of us can agree that it's probably one of the worst performing Pokemon games ever. And I'm not talking about performance-wise in terms of like sales. I'm talking about performance-wise in terms of like performance issues, like glitches. Maybe even Scarlet and Violet are actually worse in terms of the performance issues. I don't know actually if Pokemon Sword and Shield's actually worse than Scarlet and Violet. You wouldn't think so, but I mean, it's Pokemon, so. And I will always love my favorite franchise of all time, but I just want there to be like, you know, games that I actually sit down and like want to enjoy. I mean, like, heck, I mean, like, I'm not even like a humongous like avid fan of Pokemon Red and Blue, but I do have fun going back to Kanto because Kanto's a dope region. I mean, even though like I've played it so many times, like my friend Rob, if he's watching this right now, he hates Kanto. And I enjoy Kanto to a degree. I mean, it's Pokemon's first ever region. I mean, like, you have a lot of nostalgia here. You have the original Generation 1 Pokemon, some of the coolest looking Pokemon in existence. I mean, who doesn't like Gengar? Gengar is one of the most badass looking Pokemon that I've ever seen. Alakazam's really, really amazing looking. Venusaur, all three Kanto starters, even though Charizard at some points can be a tad overrated. Not always. But I mean, there will be just times where I'm just like, really, guys? Like, again? But I mean, I will also say that Charizard, about 80% of the time, is perfectly rated because everybody likes Charizard to an extent. Charizard's dope. But sometimes, you know, like when we get like a bunch of new forms, I'm like, guys, really? Every new generation, like, oh my god, Charizard. And if we had Goldeen right now, which actually, we actually could go... Could we go get Goldeen? You know, actually, yeah, I could have actually went to go get Goldeen. No, you know what? No, I'm wrong. Because I need the Pokeflute. No, I couldn't have actually. Okay, yeah, I'm right. Yeah, okay. I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute. Come on, ducks. You... Oh. I love the sounds in Gen 1. Oh my god, that okay, well, that was a crit, to be fair. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. You know, even with how old I am, there are still some things that I'm learning about Gen 1 even today. Gen 1, I played... But I definitely played more Fire Red and Leaf Green. Like, the first time, like, I actually fully played a Gen 1 game was when I was 10. And I got Pokemon Yellow. But I actually played the remix before I fully beat... I mean, I played Pokemon Red when I was 4 years old, right? But I didn't even come close to beating it. Yeah. The first time I actually beat Pokemon Red was when as like Pokemon Yellow, actually, forgive me. I was around, yeah, probably 10 years old. Yeah, I was 10, or it might have been 11. I don't know. No, actually, it was in 2005. Yeah, hold on a second. What am I thinking about here? Because, okay, yeah, I got Pokemon Emerald, I think, in 06. This is right before I started junior. Okay, yeah, so I actually was 11. Okay. Yeah, I got Yellow when I was in 5th grade. That's wild. Time flies, man. Time really, really does fly. The other day I was in elementary school. Now I'm almost 30 years old. My Pokemon can relate. They're the same exact age as me besides Jerry. Dux is a few years younger, but not for long. Do Pokemon's levels, like, are Pokemon's levels their age? I don't think so. No way. I don't think it is. That's always a thing that, like, I thought, though. Is, like, is that their age? And I also don't believe that Pokemon evolution, like, they can grow old. But I really don't think that evolution really has anything to do with it. Yeah, and aging and evolving are definitely not the same thing, because I literally Googled that, and it had, like, this old Trico come up from the anime, and I'm like, yeah, that's definitely not true. You know, for me playing Pokemon for so long, there's still some stuff about Pokemon that I literally have no idea even exists. Or even, I mean, like, no, existed. Like, I did a video, like, a few years ago about Generation 1, from what I can remember. And I actually mentioned the fact that Ghost does outright, like, sorry, that's not the proper wording. It outright is immune to, sorry, Psychic is outright immune to Ghost. But it's because I literally do forget. And it's like one of those things where I just, I don't know. Gen 1 is just, there's just like a lot of things about it that just drive me up the walls. So I really don't play it a lot. One of the main reasons is definitely the inventory space. I know you guys don't particularly care that I don't know some information and, like, I forget, but I don't know. There's just some things that I still have to work on about myself where sometimes, and I mean, like, I'll just keep this brief, but, during my video where I talk about, you know, like, my burnout and whatnot, some of the comments were like, you know, you're hard on yourself, and it's like, yeah, I am, and, like, the reason why I am, and, like, you know, I need to work on it, you know, because I'm only a human being. It's just, even though, like, I'm burned out of my job, I love my job still, and I like to try and be as perfect as I possibly can without making as little, you know, mistakes, because, I mean, I definitely do believe in credibility. And when I make mistakes, like, you know, it messes with my credibility. Before, I didn't really care as much, but now since it's like, I mean, I'm almost at 600,000 subs, like, and people look to me like, you know, as like a Pokemon resource, you know, for a lot of information in. When I mess up, you know, that impacts my credibility, and I hate it when my credibility, you know, goes down the toilet. That's a little bit of a vent rant about it, so. And I don't know something, I mean, you know, sometimes, like, you know, I understand, like, you know, I don't know it. But I mean, and I mean, I know Pokemon's just like a video game and stuff like that, but I mean, like, it's my job. Like, I view Pokemon like how, maybe a lawyer, like, sees the law. I know it sounds absolutely crazy. I know Pokemon's just a video game, but this has been my career and kind of my life for the past, like, 10 years of my life, dude. Like, it's different for someone who's done this for so long and who does this, like, as their full-time job, and I hate to kind of use this wording, but profession. It's just, I don't know, like, I see through a different lens than, you know, the typical Pokemon fans do. Like, I don't know. This is, like, my profession, and I mean, I want to try and be as perfect at it as I possibly can, to be honest. But, you know, I understand, you know, that in a lot of ways I need to be less critical, and I need to just sit down and realize, like, bro, like, you're gonna make a mistake. Shit happens. And I have been getting better at that, I will admit. I have been. Those comments that I got on the burnout video were really good, by the way. So if you did leave a comment on that video, you know, I pretty much read every single, like, I don't have the time to sit down and read every single one of my comments. I read them. I should be reading them more. But I try and, you know, read as many as I possibly can, you know, whenever, like, you know, I don't, you know, read every single one of them, but I try to get to as many as I possibly can. And I did actually get to, I'd say maybe about 90 to 95% of those comments on the Burnout vid. And I mean, like, just thank you very, very much, for all the, the positive just feedback. And, it does mean a lot. Knowing the fact, that I've made an impact on so many people, that definitely does make me feel good in a lot of ways. And in a lot of ways, doing Pokemon, full time, has helped me actually realize a lot more things about myself. I'm not gonna take this into like an introspective rant like I did the other day. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, like it did. It's helped me, in like a lot of ways. It's actually kind of helped, realize my my self-worth. Do I 100% use it as a tool of validation? No. I used to, but definitely not anymore. But I mean, like, it helped me realize, that I can make an impact on people's lives, and it feels kind of good, being able to play, the game that you grew up with, and, someone will crack a smile at my cringy ass humor. Jerry is getting low on its HP. I don't know if Jerry is actually a boy or a girl, because in Generation 1, you literally can't tell the genders. I could actually go into PK Hex and actually transfer it to probably like a Generation 2 ROM and figure that out. I actually have no idea why I wasted a fresh water when I could have just waited to the Pokemon Center. That's alright. Shit happens. Mr. Fuji here gives you the, in case you have not played Pokemon Red and Blue for the first time, Mr. Fuji gives you the Poke Flute, and you have to use it on the Snorlax, literally south of here. And you will then have access to Fuchsia City. Which now, actually, with that said, it's actually time to go pick up Sea King and Goldeen. That's pretty wild. Anyway, though, I've been recording for around half an hour. We took on the Lavender Town Tower. I went on one of my crazy rants like usual. With that, though, you guys, I will see you guys very, very shortly in the next episode. With me recording. You guys won't see this again until another few days, but anyways, I'll see you guys soon.